Always a sad day when your two favorite YouTubers make a video about each other. You see, AugustTheDuck has recently made a video about JiDion, and JiDion responded to that video, and then AugustTheDuck responded to JiDion's response to his video. Now this all started because AugustTheDuck made a video about JiDion's ad where he, uses EDP in his predator catching videos.
What's this? What the f is this?
Do you want to watch EDP Watch episodes early and completely uncensored? Do you want to listen in on these disturbing one-on-one calls we have with these monsters?
Do you usually rub your or do you hear it?
And do you want to support our mission to protect those who cannot protect themselves? Then why not join EDPWatch.com?
It's showtime!
Get extended, early, uncut, and exclusive never-before-seen episodes, full uncensored chat logs, audio calls, access to the exclusive Discord, and the chance to be flown out and do an EDP catch with yours truly, DeMarcus Handsome. All for the low price of $4.45. So what are you waiting for? Pull a Marquise Brownie and speed on over to EDPWatch.com. The following content may cause this.
From AugustTheDuck's words, his problem with this is that he used EDP as sort of like a meme in which, it's a predator catching video, so I don't think he wants memes in predator catching videos. And the use of explosion effects in, an ad for predator catching videos also disturbed him. Also the fact that, he's promoting, if you can subscribe to this thing, you can, come and meet a predator and do a predator catch with yours truly, JiDion. Which understandable, because JiDion did not indeed in fact say that you have to be 18 to come to these, I guess, predator catchings. But I'm sorry, I've been gone, we're back. I've been a little sick, and also because I had some things to do with my, edumacations. Yeah, if my voice sounds different in this video, it's because I, still very much sick. Pluto, play my shit again, fart nigga.
Personally, I'm of the opinion that people really shouldn't be taking the law into their own hands, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as this.
Now, this is something JiDion and AugustTheDuck have responded to in both their response videos, with JiDion giving evidence of him actually working with police, and also AugustTheDuck admitting his wrongs and that he was wrong about this.
Not to mention, most of the guys who are doing this kind of content, they're not benefiting anybody but themselves. And that's really where my main issue with this kind of stuff lies. I have no sympathy for the guys who get caught doing shit like this, regardless of the intentions of the people behind it. If you decide to text what you think is a child, or go try and meet up with somebody who you think is a child, and you meet a bunch of dudes and you get beat up a little bit for the internet, well, boo-hoo. Do I support the guys who are doing stuff like that? Well, no, not really. But also, I don't really care if you find yourself in a situation like that, because you shouldn't have been putting yourself in a situation like that. So don't get me wrong, the treatment or the consequences that these guys face is not the issue I have with this content. If anything, it's really the lack of consequences that they face, and the reasons that the guys making this content are doing it. Some are better than others, don't get me wrong. Some of these channels seem to have managed to get in with local law enforcement, or they've developed a better understanding of what exactly they need for the cops to actually be able to do something. But still, you should probably just be leaving this kind of shit up to, law enforcement.
Now, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly how many arrests JiDion has caused, but I do remember Alex Rosen has over 200, and I do know Colorado Pet Patrol has also over 200, 300. So they do lock in with local law enforcement. Same with JiDion. I recently saw a Skeeter Gene video where he was directly working with, the law enforcement in the local area. Also, if y'all didn't know, Chris Hansen still does his predator takedowns, and he works directly with law enforcement to do those.
Though, to be honest, because I saw this clip the other day for, I guess it's a membership for the predator catching content that he does. And I don't know, guys, it's really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I think it's something worth talking about, because like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of these guys sort of get to a point where they almost start to forget what they're doing, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. I'm going to show you guys the clip in full, and then we're going to go through it. Again, this is an advertisement for a membership service to his predator catching content.
Now, besides the fact that JiDion didn't specifically say you have to be 18 to come out and do the predator catches, I don't see anything really wrong with this ad, to be completely honest, but I can see where he is coming from. I do think it might be a little too much, comedicness, but then again, he is an online comedian, so it just kind of makes sense.
There are a few different things wrong with this little plug. One, I think, is just the overall vibe, like the editing style, the way this was scripted. Again, we are talking about content where the entire focus is going after people who try and manipulate, exploit, and do some of the worst things imaginable to some of the most vulnerable members of our society. Like, we're talking about child predators here, and it's like an Adult Swim parody commercial. Now look, don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of guy who thinks that like humor should be off limits for certain things. I think that there's room for humor in basically anything, but I really can't help but feel like editing something like this and making something where you're talking about what JiDion's talking about here in this style is in poor taste. To me, it's just a genre of content that should be treated a little bit more seriously, because these guys are trying to catch these predators. That's a completely different thing than, for example, making a video where you make fun of somebody who was on the show to catch a predator. Because when you're watching that show, you know that those guys are fucked. That show was done with law enforcement. They all got arrested. Like, you knew what was going to happen to them. With these guys, it's not really the same thing. Like, it's kind of weird to edit a video in this style when, like I mentioned earlier, you could just be making a significantly more safe, cautious, and aware predator who's going to be a more effective predator. Like, we're talking about catching people who want to prey on children. Maybe limit it to one explosion effect? I don't know. Just a thought. Also, like, using EDP as like a meme in this advertisement seems like really, really poor taste, because that's like one of the biggest examples of how this stuff usually ends. EDP didn't go to jail. Nothing happened to EDP. Sure, he was banned off YouTube, but like, he didn't go to jail and then he got caught trying to do it again. Like, you're kind of exposing yourself here, guys. You're using the most famous example of why your content is kind of a bad thing and doesn't really work as a way to advertise your content. You're kind of showing your hand there that you don't really care if these guys don't actually end up going to jail.
The only problem I have with this take is that these guys actually do end up going to jail most of the time if done correctly. Like, you're not just going to these people and just smacking them up, you know, give them a good old 1-2-200. But August is right. With a lot of these guys, most of them aren't prosecuted because the pred catcher, quote unquote, handled the situation very wrong. But it's not fair to the other creators that do it correctly, such as JiDion, Skeeter Gene, you know, Chris Flippin Hansen, 561 PC, flipping all those guys.
Advertising to what I've got to imagine is an audience full of teenagers. The chance to be flown out to meet a fucking child predator is pretty fucking nuts. Like, look, I'm gonna give JiDion the benefit of the doubt here and say that if he ever did this, that he'd probably make sure that it was an adult. But I mean, he doesn't say that in this advertisement, which you have to. So I don't know, man. That's just a little wacky for me. A little much. Again, even if he did say adults only, treating this as some sort of like fun, cool experience, like you would be meeting a person who wants to have sex with a child. Who the fuck wants to do that?
But yeah, this was just really a real sticky situation. You know, it sucked for the both of them. You know, it's just, hopefully, well, they did resolve it, which is good. If y'all want to learn more, y'all can flip and go watch their videos. They're going to be linked down below. Type shit. Know what I'm saying? If any more comes out after this, I'm going to make a way better video than this when I'm not flipping sick over here every 5 seconds. Can't even record a flipping video. But yeah, sorry, this video is like very minimally edited because like, yeah, I can't sit at my desk for long right now. So appreciate y'all boys and gals. See y'all later, hopefully with a better video in about 2 days. Hopefully I'm not sick no more, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.